But I mean, you can just watch his grappling and sort of see opportunities. Like you can go back and look at past fights and see where guys have been able to get up or reverse him.
Everybody want to be UFC champ, but we don't have many people who have 2 belts. That's why I want to be one of them, you know.
This is by no means a walkover fight. No means. This is a really, really tough fight.
Before the main fight, the UFC world buzzes with anticipation as fans try to predict which fighter will take the win and declare themselves the champion. However, these predictions include possible mess-ups from the fighter's end too. While discussing the possible mess-ups that could be brought forward in the upcoming fight against Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, Craig Jones claimed that there are still certain weak points in Islam's grappling that could possibly cost him his win against JDM. He went on to say that Islam's performance against Poirier was underwhelming as well.
But what are the holes in Islam's game that you see?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I can't talk about it in too much detail, but I mean, you can just watch his grappling and sort of see opportunities. Like you can go back and look at past fights and see where guys have been able to get up or reverse him. And then obviously we're still focused on the fact that even if he's made those errors before, will he have changed them? And usually I find most people don't adjust an error until they take a loss. So everyone always has mistakes in the grappling. So I mean, Islam, even against Poirier, didn't look as good as I thought.
Couldn't really hold him down as well, right?
Yeah, so I think Jack's gonna be super tough. Jack's like tough for me to hold down, obviously.
Moreover, Robert Whittaker shared his 2 cents as well, claiming that there is a high chance Jack would be able to take the win against Islam due to his strong frame and overall jiu-jitsu skills. Claiming that Jack would give Islam trouble in the octagon, Robert said JDM could use his punches as a weapon.
Why does JDM beat Islam in your opinion?
I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, but Jack's bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu.
Who give him?
Not to mention, Jack has really good hand. If he can works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on, to give Islam trouble.
Furthermore, Bilal Muhammad had faced defeat at the hands of JDM prior to this matchup. According to Michael Bisping, Bilal Muhammad is a 170-pound champ, whereas Islam is a 155-pound champ. If Bilal could not take down Jack Della Maddalena in the ring, it won't be a walk in the park for Islam either. He would have to go through hell just to take down his opponent.
Bilal, I mean, he was the 170 champ. Islam's the 155 champ. They're very, very close in their abilities. This isn't like Islam's going to walk up to 170 and just walk through Jack Della Maddalena.
Additionally, Carlos Prates claimed in a podcast that the Bilal versus JDM fight did not go as he had expected. According to him, JDM came back in the ring after a long hiatus, so the UFC world had low expectations for his win, but the fighter proved everyone wrong and came for the kill. Because of this, Carlos believes that JDM cannot be underestimated when it comes to prowess in his fight against Islam Makhachev.
I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose. He got injury and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah.
And then he come to different level, bro. He was like gonna be a board fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. He grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
However, Henry Cejudo claimed that Islam Makhachev cannot be underestimated. He is like an animal in the ring. According to Henry, Islam has the ability to act like a blanket when he gets on top of his opponents, tackling them to the ground in seconds.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. If there's one thing that I could say in that fight, Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah.
He's a blanket, bro. The top control that Islam has in comparison to Bilal is completely different.
Moreover, even Sean O'Malley praised Islam Makhachev and his fighting prowess, claiming that while there is a weight difference between the two fighters, Islam's impressive skills close that distance, making him a perfect contender for the fight. According to Sean, Islam is the type of fighter whose striking is very underrated.
How do you think Islam does at welterweight?
Who knows? I heard he's not going to be any smaller than Jack come fight night. But 55 to 70, that's a little bit different than 35 to 45. But when your skill level's that high, as Islam's is, it'll be interesting if he goes in there and tries to shoot on Jack. Jack stuffs him and gets in his face. But Islam's striking is so underrated. Islam could put the hands on Jack, too.
Furthermore, Luke Rockhold commented on the upcoming Islam versus JDM fight, claiming that it would be a pretty tough fight. According to Luke, Islam is the type of fighter who has wrestled and grappled since his childhood, so going against him would prove to be difficult for JDM. But at the same time, Jack has the advantage of having a massive build, making it anyone's game.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight.
That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. He's fun to watch. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but, you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
Moreover, Ian Gary also shared his 2 cents about the fight, claiming that it is hard to completely side with one fighter, as both have their own ways of dominating in the ring. Talking about the previous fights of both contenders, Ian Gary made comparisons between the fights, breaking down the particular skills of each fighter. He even commented on the size discrepancy between the contenders, predicting that size would play a huge part in the match.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Additionally, Alexander Volkanovski, a previous opponent of Islam Makhachev, claimed that Jack Maddalena had leveled up his fighting prowess quite obviously. According to Alexander, his opponents are going to have a difficult time holding the fighter down, as he has gotten more confident with his strikes and knows how to carry his skills as weapons well.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Bilal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, there's every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. You know, I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, like, you know, worried about, you know, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, like, I guarantee you if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. You know, only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Furthermore, even Chael Sonnen expressed his excitement about the upcoming Islam versus JDM fight, claiming that while most people do not expect Jack to win, they are making a mistake by underestimating the fighter. Chael also claimed that this fight could prove to be a main event with all the hype surrounding it, and that the fight is far closer than people think.
Islam is headed to Madison Square Garden to fight Maddalena. According to Khabib, the only way you are going to get Islam and Ilya is if Jack wins. If Jack is to win, where does that take him? The reason you can't answer that question, nobody's expecting Jack to win. That's a problem for selling out the Garden, except you have a reality. And the reality is Jack is one hell of a hard fight. And the only way you can make money is with an anticipation. I'm just asking you, is that a main event at Madison Square Garden? Yeah, I sure think so.
Moreover, Islam Makhachev himself commented on his upcoming fight and opponent, claiming that Jack truly is a great fighter, and the fight might be a tough one for both contenders. He further went on to say that when his opponent, Jack, first came to the UFC world, his wrestling was subpar, but now he has reached another level. In the end, Islam claimed that the world will know who is the best soon.
Do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
very soon.
Yeah.
And it's going very quick.
In addition, Khamzat Chimaev commented on the Islam versus JDM fight, claiming that it is a tough matchup between the two. According to him, Islam has a higher chance of winning the fight, leaning more towards one fighter over another.
You can still see yourself going back down to welterweight, or are you looking to just stick within it?
Just focus on this fight, but after that we will see. But we always have some different plans, but we'll see what's going on.
And who do you think's going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
Additionally, Islam's own coach Javier Mendez, shared his thoughts about the fight, claiming that it truly would be a tough match, but if Islam keeps on following his and Khabib's instructions, they would make sure the fighter ends up as the winner. That is what Coach Javier admires about Islam as well, his ability to heed his coach's instructions and follow their path.
And Islam will follow our instructions. He always has. I mean, if there's one thing I can always say about Islam is that no matter what I say, Khabib says we're on the same track, we're not on the same track, he listens to us. So it's going to be our job to make sure if things aren't working, we find out what is going to work. And Islam will follow.
Moreover, Coach Javier claimed that JDM would be a dangerous fighter for Islam to go against. This is due to the fact that Jack has been an unbeaten champion for quite some time now, knowing exactly how to keep his win streak alive. In addition to that, JDM also knows how to mix and match his fighting styles, keeping his opponent on their toes.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yep. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then all of a sudden a kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to, no, we got to see what he's going to give us. And we have to, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to. He's really that good.
Agreeing with Khabib's statement, Coach Javier also believed that JDM might be Islam Makhachev's biggest test to date, claiming that while Islam's team may be making it look like an easy match that Islam can tackle, the reality is far from this. Coach Javier commended Jack's team and the fighter's prowess, claiming that Khabib and he do their absolute best to prepare Islam to go against one of the greatest.
I'm going to have to 1,000,000% agree with Khabib. I think this is our toughest test, and this is Khabib, and my biggest responsibility is to make sure we get Islam on tip-top shape and ready to do what we think and we believe he will do, and that's win. But it's not going to be easy. And if we make it look easy, it's because we were properly prepared, and Jack just happened to give us what we needed. But this is by no means a walkover fight. No means. This is a really, really tough fight. And we have immense respect for Jack in their team and what they can do. And so we're prepared, mentally now. Physically, we'll got 2 months before we start camp. We'll go then. But right now, we're mentally prepared for what Jack brings, and he brings a lot.
On the other hand, Israel Adesanya predicted that while fighting, Islam Makhachev would understand the mistake he had made of going against JDM, and that the fighter would think he bit off more than he could chew. Supporting JDM for the win, Adesanya stated that he would be eagerly awaiting the time Jack knocks down Islam and takes the win for himself.
Della versus Islam. Della is going to get it done. Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because his scrambles are crazy, and I feel he's going to knock him out, because I just think he's not going to be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, I really think he's going to get him, and I can't wait till that happens.
Furthermore, Dustin Poirier shared his thoughts about the fight as well, claiming that the weight difference won't be an issue during the fight between the two contenders. Having gone against Islam in the ring, Poirier predicted that the result of the match depends on how the pace is set during the first round. According to Dustin, the match is unpredictable as both fighters with equal prowess go head to head.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable. And he'll fill into that weight class, no problem. He's gonna be he could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's gonna tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Additionally, Daniel Cormier shared his expertise regarding this bout, claiming that Islam might be the kind of fighter JDM has never gone against before, having a unique style of fighting. He said, if Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle early, he might struggle. We've seen him get taken down. Daniel continued on to say that, but I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single legs with Islam. It is going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he doesn't recognize as freely. While talking about the fight, Jeff Neal shared his opinions, claiming that Islam Makhachev is a strong fighter with the strength of a person who weighs much more than 155 pounds. Joking about the situation, Jeff sent a message to JDM telling him not to embarrass the weight class by letting a 155-pound fighter beat a 170-pound one. In the end, Jeff accepted the fact that he leaned more towards Jack taking the win.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. We will see, because I've heard Islam strong as shit. Like, especially like when he's fighting 155, people like always talk about how strong he is for the weight class. So we'll see how that translates to 170.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Jack's been working his takedown defense and in the weight room. You know what I mean? Don't embarrass us, dog. Don't let this 155er come up and take the belt, bro.
Who do you give the edge to in that fight?
Man, that's so hard. But I'm gonna give the edge to Jack, man. He needs to keep the belt at 170.
Okay.
What do you think? Will Islam be able to dominate in the ring, or will JDM prove to be as unbeatable as most are painting him to be? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more updates.